everyone, I'm Fernanda, or you can just call me Chimmy. A while back, 7 months ago to be exact, holy crap, this time go by fast, I made a video talking about art and story tropes I find annoying. I said in that video that one day I'd do a video about art and story tropes I love, and so 7 months later, here it is. Just like in the last video, I'll be yapping to some speed paints of drawings I've done, and so feel free to play this video while you draw, eat, clean, or anything. Let's get into it. Number 1. Hidden eyes. The hidden eyes trope is one of my favorite character design tropes. There are many different types of ways shows go about hiding characters' eyes, like with glasses or a shadow, but my personal favorite is when it's done with their hair. Some examples of characters with this trope are Mystery from K-pop Demon Hunters, Jay from Lookism, and Sapphire from Steven Universe. I even loved this trope so much that I actually have an OC with this design. Oh, how I love you, Jackson. I don't know what it is about this design choice, but I just can't help but loving it. Maybe it's because of the mystery it adds onto the character. It makes me want to know what their eyes look like. Or maybe they're hiding something, a scar, a third eye, maybe they're just too beautiful for this world. Or it could be just because that's how the character wants to have it. Either way, I love it. This also applies to fox-eyed characters. I was originally gonna have this trope be its own separate section, but I thought it was on a similar level as hidden eyes since they are hidden in a way. It's such a simple design choice of having the character's eyes looked closed, but I love it so much. And unlike the characters with hair covering their eyes I just mentioned earlier, these characters usually have cheeky or silly personalities, which I find so interesting to see since although their eyes are closed, we can still see how expressive these characters can be. Trope 2. Hero x Villain. Now this is a trope I'd love to see more of. There's just something so interesting to me about seeing people from opposing sides fall in love with each other. It might have to do with the forbidden aspect of it, and it may sound a bit cringe, but I love it. I just think it makes for such an interesting and exciting dynamic. Maybe it's the enemies to lovers fan inside of me, but I love seeing the process of their relationship and how it develops. Most of the time, it'll involve the villain being redeemed or reformed in some way, which I think is really cute. Or it could even go in the opposite way and have the hero turning into a villain, which I feel like we don't see very often. Or at least I can't think of any at the moment. But honestly, trying to think of ships fitting this trope in the first place was kind of hard even though it is one of my favorites. I guess the rarity of it makes me like it even more. Or maybe I just haven't watched many shows with this trope. But some of the ships I could think of are Jinx and Kid Flash from Teen Titans, Toga and Uraraka from My Hero Academia, Juvia and Gray from Fairy Tail, and lastly Sai and Baby 5 from One Piece. Although their screen time was pretty short, I still really enjoyed their interactions and thought they were funny. Plus, I loved seeing that they did in fact get married in the manga. And as for Jinx and Kid Flash, they were one of the earliest Hero x Villain ships I loved. As a kid, I really wanted to see more of them and was sad to see that they weren't together in Teen Titans Go. Instead, we got Jinx and Cyborg, which is still Hero x Villain, but I've just always preferred her with Flash more. I thought their opposite personalities made for a really interesting dynamic. But anyway, since we're on the superhero topic, that leads me on to the next trope. Trope 3. Secret Identities. I'm sure most of us know what this trope means and will immediately think of superheroes. I love the superhero genre and think that the secret identity aspect of it adds a lot of excitement. Plus, it can also add suspense in the cases where the characters may not want their identity to be revealed, which I am always at the edge of my seat to see. In most cases, we as the audience know who's underneath the mask, but I still look forward to seeing how other characters will react to the reveal. And although I've been talking about superheroes for the secret identity trope, there's more to it than just that. I love all types of secret identity. It could even be something that's not fantasy, like Hannah Montana. Miley's a teenage girl trying to balance her school life and being a famous pop star, which people can't know about. I just find the secret part of it to be so interesting to watch, especially if the secret identity causes problems between characters or makes things complicated. A recent example I can think of for this is Rumi from K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm almost 100% sure that most of us have watched it, but just in case you haven't, be warned that there will be a few spoilers ahead. So if you'd like to avoid them, you can skip to this timestamp on screen. In K-pop Demon Hunters, the main character Rumi is secretly half demon, which no one except her guardian Celine knows about. This is a problem for her though, since her job is to hunt and kill demons. Her group members Mira and Zoe also hate demons, and so once the reveal happens, this causes problems between them. This is what I mean about the suspense. Throughout the whole movie, Rumi's trying to hide her demon side, which causes some close call moments, which I love to see. That may sound a bit weird, but I just can't help but loving it. Trope number 4 is overpowered MCs. But hear me out with this one. When I say I like overpowered MCs, I'm not talking about characters who have no weaknesses, never lose a fight, and seem to have no personality. Cause that makes for a boring MC in my opinion. I'm talking about characters like Mob from Mob Psycho 100 and Saitama from One Punch Man. Characters who, although were born with extremely powerful abilities, still have human sides to them and weaknesses. Both Mob and Saitama have really powerful abilities, but each have their own respective weaknesses. Although Mob has an ability many people would be envious of, he still lacks a lot of social and physical skills. Having his psychic abilities doesn't automatically make him popular or grow his confidence. Instead, he works towards improving those skills on his own without using his abilities. And in Saitama's case, he worked so hard to become the strongest that in the end, it left him bored. Everything's too easy, and now there's no real challenge for him to face. Compared to Mob, his is definitely seen in a more comedic way, and both cases do a great job at showing that being overpowered doesn't automatically make your life great. Another example of a comedic take on this trope is Saiki from The Disastrous Life of Saiki K. Just like the others, he's extremely powerful, but he wishes he wasn't. All he wants is to be a normal kid and have a normal life, but is constantly surrounded by a bunch of students who attract all sorts of weird scenarios, which makes him have to use his powers. And if you think about it, Saiki technically also has the secret identity trope, since no one other than his family knows about his abilities, which makes the show even better in my opinion. The scenarios he gets into trying not to get found out as a psychic are hilarious. Please, if you haven't watched Saiki K, I definitely recommend you watch it. Please, it's so good. Especially the dub, I love it. So in conclusion, I only love this trope when the MC has more than a nonchalant or a farming personality. And finally, for the last trope, we have found family, which can also be known as chosen family. This is such a heartwarming trope to me, and I love seeing it. Found family is basically a group of characters who, although aren't related by blood, still form a close-knit bond between each other, which in turn can be seen as a family bond. I feel like found family is a pretty common trope in a lot of media, but I'm not complaining. I eat it up every time. There's just something so comforting about seeing a group of characters forming a bond with each other despite not being related and having different backgrounds. Some of my favorite shows with this trope are One Piece, Fairy Tail, Assassination Classroom, and Spy Family. There's definitely more shows I could name with this trope, but these are just some of my personal favorites that first came to mind. And out of all the ones I named, Spy Family is the only one where they actually become a family. Plus another show with secret identities involved. But the other shows have just as strong a bond. Seeing the characters' journey throughout the show, like how they first met and the development of their relationship, is so sweet to me. The characters could come together because maybe they're seen as misfits, therefore finding comfort with each other just like in Assassination Classroom. Or maybe they're working towards similar goals together just like in One Piece and Fairy Tail. Some of these shows, especially Fairy Tail, get hate because the power of friendship can be seen as cringe or dumb, but I don't care, I love it and think it's sweet. But of course, I can acknowledge that sometimes it takes the stakes away from the situation since friendship will prevail most of the time. But I don't think that necessarily makes it a bad show. I value character relationships above most things, and so this may just be my personal preference talking. But I can forgive a mid-plot as long as the characters' relationships with each other are strong and have great development. I'm just such a sucker for them. And that's it for some of my favorite art and story tropes. If you don't agree with them, that's fine, these are just my personal favorites, but let's please remember to be respectful. And if any of you guys have any tropes different from the ones I mentioned, I'd love to hear about them. There's still more tropes I could talk about, but realized while making the script that a lot of them were romance tropes. And so if you'd like to see a video dedicated to my favorite ship dynamics, I'd be more than happy to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video, stay safe, and as always, I hope you have a great day.